My goodness, we just got just barely in the nick. Well, good evening, everybody. This is the City Council meeting for the City of Bonney Lake on May 9th, 2023. Very first thing we do is salute our flag, so let's stand and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Mayor McCullough?
I'm here.
Deputy Mayor Carter?
Here.
Councilmember Baldwin?
Here.
Councilmember Evans?
Here.
Councilmember Fullerton?
Here.
Councilmember McClymans?
Here.
Councilmember Swatman?
Present.
And Councilmember Watson.
Here. Okay, and it seems apparently we do have one agenda modification.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to take item D number 1 presentation and push that to June 13th so we can have some additional VIPs in the audience for that time frame.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Second it.
Okay, and I doubt we can waive discussion on this. All in favor of modifying the agenda to allow the Team Medal of Honor to be awarded at a different time so we would have more VIPs here. Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, it's the agenda has been modified. And nope, I do not see it. Okay, very good. We now have a proclamation. This is a proclamation that I have been looking forward to for a couple of weeks. All right. Whereas longevity of life is a blessing for an individual and for a community which benefits from the knowledge, creativity, and experiences this individual brings to all. And I am going to waive all of the whereases at this point. We only need one whereas through the proclamation. The City of Bonney Lake recognizes with respect and admiration the contribution that all its employees give to our community, and Myrtle Thompson began her career as the clerk with the City of Bonney Lake in 1964 and retired from the city on June 13th, 1983 as the city treasurer. And the City of Bonney Lake and the citizens of Bonney Lake benefited from Myrtle Thompson's service in the many roles of the council clerk, city treasurer, deputy city clerk, bookkeeper, and recording secretary. And Myrtle Johnson exhibited qualities of devotion to public service worthy of emulation of public officials generally, as was voted by former Mayor Robert Allen on September 11th, 1968 in Resolution 209. And the United States has the greatest number of centenarians in the world, and today Myrtle Thompson should be honored for her 100 years on this earth. Now, therefore, be it resolved throughout the City of Bonney Lake on this occasion of her 100th birthday celebration and for the honor she has given to the city and its citizens, I, Michael McCullough, Mayor of Bonney Lake, with the full backing and encouragement of the entirety of the Bonney Lake City Council, by virtue of authority vested in me by the City of Bonney Lake, do hereby proclaim May 15th, 2023 as Myrtle Thompson Day in the City of Bonney Lake. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Bonney Lake to be affixed this 9th of May, 2023. And I believe she deserves some applause. Why defeat is her 100. Okay. Now, seeing as we have no public hearing at this point, we'll go on to citizen commentary. All right, citizens, this is your time to address the council on city business. The city will now enable the video and microphone for those attending virtually. You will need to turn on your video and microphones on your end if you are wanting to be seen or heard. We will start with those who are here in person and move to the virtual comments afterwards. You will have 5 minutes. Anybody who wishes to approach the dais, please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Erin Muskie, Senior Librarian at the Bonney Lake Library. My address is 13309 88th Avenue Court East. to keep you all in the loop about what's going on at the library lately. We had our big open house event on Saturday, April 15th. From 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we saw about 200 people come in during that time. It was a really great day. And I want to give thanks especially for two of our council members who came that day. Council member Gwendolyn Fullerton and Council member Tom Watson were kind enough to join us that day and get to see all of the events and all of the community that was gathered that day. I also wanted to bring to your attention two new community partnerships that we are doing offsite outside of the library, in part to keep you in the loop and in part in case you come across any community members that might want a referral to those services. The first one is with the Prairie Ridge Community Center. If you're not aware, they do a Wednesday evening community dinner. It's open to anyone in the community. Not something where you have to be a member of the Prairie Ridge community to join. So that is from 6 to 7 Wednesday. And we have started sending a librarian there once a month to highlight different library services and resources that might be of use to the community. So that would include how to get a library card and some of the resources that you can connect with as part of the library, job and career resources, legal resources, education resources, and family resources as well. So we just started that partnership in April. This was our second month that we've sent someone, and that's been a really great event. We also had a second new partnership that we just started with today, working with the Bonney Lake Senior Center and sending one of our librarians off-site once a month to them as well. That was this afternoon. The very first thing that we did was technology assistance. That is something we see a lot of with our seniors in particular. So our librarian, our adult services librarian, was out there doing one-on-one technology assistance with whatever our seniors needed help with. Finally, we're going to be attending an upcoming resource fair for Spanish speakers in the community at the Quiet Meadows Mobile Home Community on Saturday the 20th. We were asked to participate in that through a partnership we have with Tacoma Pierce County Health Department, and it is highlighting family resources for those who speak Spanish as their primary or only language. That is my update. Thank you very much for your time this evening.
All right. Thank you very much, Erin. Is there anybody else for the good of the order?
Council Mayor Dan Decker, past council member out of 201 70th Street East, Bonney Lake, Washington. Bonney Lake Police Department has several new hires. I believe some of them need extra training. I was informed that the police academy gives training concerning the constitutional requirements in law enforcement. City police take an oath to uphold constitutionality of sound law. Or am I wrong? I asked an officer, what are the 4th and 14th Amendment concerning? He looked at me, mumbled some non-comprehensive noise, and ran off. I asked him his name and badge number. Question not answered. It's sad to say the city police officer in some cases have become dangerous to keep on as police officers. They will, in the end, cause tort to be the city's middle name. Training is needed. I believe whatever the police academy taught a certain officer, he failed to comprehend or did he get the message? I personally hope it's an issue of ignorance and not the act of stupid cop being a tyrant, a bully with a badge and a gun. When an officer falls into violations of the law under color of law, they are in violation of Title 18 U.S.C. 242. Depending on the degree of violation, they could get up to a year or natural life in the federal penitentiary. The Supreme Court created the law of qualified immunity in Pearson versus Ray in 1967. I believe this qualified immunity is illegal. Sidebar. The Supreme Court is not the creator of law. Its duty is to interpret the law as to its constitutional validity. Only the legislature is allowed to make law. I believe all staff working for the city must take an oath to protect the Constitution and have training and intent of the Constitution. And I noticed that Sergeant Malum has gotten a Medal of Honor. Very much. I appreciate him for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Decker. Is there anybody else for the good of the order?
Mayor, Councilman, my name is Steve McCoy. I'm a lifelong member of this community. My great uncle was one that voted to get the infrastructure to initiate the city of Bonney Lake back in the 40s. My uncle and my brother served in the fire department. What brings me here today is I'm acutely interested in Resolution 3154, the protection of children and the recognizing of parental rights. I think this is a very this is a time in life where I think it's fascinating that we need to discuss these things, because the most vulnerable citizens in our community are the children. So I'm real eager and strongly support you looking at this resolution and passing this resolution that we might take a stand to protect our kids, the most vulnerable amongst us, and the future of who we are in our community. Thanks.
All right, thank you, sir. Is there anybody? Oh, no, fine.
Good evening. My name is Shanta Mulligan. I live near the Senior Center in Bonney Lake. Thank you all for serving. I really appreciate the time and dedication that you bring. Two things. First off, we had two officers show up to our neighborhood, and they were incredible. They were so kind, very professional. I think it was Officer Miranda and Officer Eby. They were responding to an overturned boat, and I was really, really thankful, and they're really personable, and they are the type of officer who I'm just so thankful that makes Bonney Lake a really great place to live. So great thanks to them. Another thing I'd like to talk to the resolution as well. Parental rights. It's very strange to live in a day where we need to talk about making sure that parents know and preserving that relationship. And I'm just very thankful for the council that you would consider a resolution that explicitly says parental rights are an important thing to preserve. Dr. Jack Schnookoff, a board-certified pediatrician who sits on the faculty of Harvard Graduate School of Education, says even when young children spend most of their waking hours in childcare, parents remain the most influential adults in their lives. Quote, and continuing this, quote, the hallmark of the parental relationship is the readily observable fact that this special adult is not interchangeable with others. So thank you so much for really highlighting the fact that we want to preserve that, and it's a valuable thing. Because there was, just to present one more sort of fact, is an MTV Associated Press survey asked 1,280 young people to identify what makes them happy. 73% of those teenagers, okay, and I would ask you, what would 73% of teenagers agree on? Ask yourself, the type of music, right? Nice cars, whatever. But 73% agreed that the relationship with their parents is what makes them most happy. And so I truly believe that you taking a stand or just saying something wonderful and highlighting that relationship is a wonderful thing. So thanks for making our community so great.
All right, thank you. When our officers overturned the overturned boat, there weren't two people in the boat holding their breath. Okay. Anybody else for the good of the order? Oh, yes, ma'am. Come on up.
Sure about the sewer in Bonney. Back in 1980, we bought property up here, built our home, and when the sewer came in, we were grandfathered into a clause which we didn't have to hook up to sewer. And we chose not to at the time because we couldn't afford it. But then we got a grant through HUD that helped us with the expenses of it. So then we proceeded to hook up, or we're going to, but then there was no sub down on the road for us to hook up to. And so we still had the option not to hook up, so we took that. And I got behind on my water bill. Last summer, I had the water shut off for 8 months because we hadn't paid it, the sewer and water. And we paid ever since it started, we've had to pay sewer. And we've never hooked up to it. And I've got documents here and stuff to prove it. And I couldn't find it, but we have a diagram of it, and it shows where the sub was supposed to be to hook up to, and it's not there. And that's why I'm here.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Have you approached our Public Services Department about that?
Pardon?
Have you gone to speak with our Public
I
Services?
didn't know. I talked to a friend who generally comes up here, Jody Kurth.
Mhm.
Anyway, he said for me to come here and present what I have. That's what he suggested for me to do. So
Okay.
that's why I'm here.
Well, again, Mr. Johnston, would you mind taking down some contact information? Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else for the good of the order? Ms. Bianca, could you approach and tell us why Sumner? Oh, no, wrong person. I'm sorry about that. It's okay. Okay, we are now closing our live citizen commentary, and we will start those that are now virtual. Anybody online who wishes to address the council, this is your time to do it. Okay. City will now disable all video and microphone for those who are attending virtually. We have no correspondence, so next we will have committee reports. Finance Committee, please. Deputy Mayor?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Finance Committee met today at 5 o'clock upstairs and virtually. We had a personal update from Mr. Sandler. In that, it should have gone out to council, but there are 18 new hires, 9 promotions and transfers, and 9 separations. So a lot of movement within the city still. Business and action items, AB 23-69, which was an authorization for use of ARPA funds to complete stormwater CIP projects. The council had spoke about that a little bit before and seemed in favor of it, so it came to finance and will be coming back to the council for a vote. It'll also come back for a quick discussion. We just want to make sure it's over $1 million, so it's a large amount of money. So we just want to make sure that comes back before the council again before a vote here very soon. And we approved our minutes. That was our meeting.
All right. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Community Development Committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Community Development Committee did meet on May 2nd, 5 p.m. upstairs. We had several items of business. It included a resolution for hearing examiner services. Same company, same person. As our policies let us only do that for kind of a trial period, and then we can do more of a permanent situation there, extending that contract out. So we agreed with that, forwarded it to the full council for this evening's agenda for possible approval. Also, resolution for professional services with parametrics for on-call reviewing of civil projects. And that's part of the city's ongoing efforts to make sure that we can supply timely permits to larger projects or anybody that wants to use it. Kind of a paid service, parallel path kind of thing there. Supposedly what we've heard is that the builders have been very happy with the ability to do that. So we'd recommend that be approved tonight. Also on your consent agenda, we approved our minutes. And we had some regular council or committee open discussion. And I think for council's interest, we'll be having future, as we know, a lot of legislative state issues came out recently, were signed and not signed and re-signed and modified by all the end result of the legislative movement on housing and different regulations out there. So don't be too quick to say things yet until we get the final version of that, because I've heard some things about elimination of single-family zoning and different things which apply to different tiers of cities and stuff. So, there's a lot of details to come on that. So there you go.
And there will be a special session.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Thank you, Councilmember Swanman. Did I hear you say amorous services? I missed that.
Which one on the? That's for the professional services.
Yes. Okay.
Professional for civil review.
I'm sorry. My ears are still clogged up from the plane on Sunday.
Yeah, those are great, huh?
Okay. All right. Public Safety Committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Safety met tonight. We approved AB 2382 going forward to the consent agenda for 523, and that is removing the sunset clause on the Sky Island Drive parking based on a recommendation from police and the neighborhood HOAs nearby. We had reports from East Pierce Fire and Rescue. Calls for service are slightly lower in 23 versus 22. And East Pierce Fire and Rescue next Tuesday at 7 p.m. at Station 111 will be having a recognition ceremony for the life-saving measures by the amazing Bonney Lake High School staff on a 15-year-old student who had a cardiac event during being on campus. And then on Wednesday at 6 p.m., the school board, next Wednesday, will be doing a recognition as well. So public is encouraged to attend both if you can. East Pierce is looking for 13 more recruits for their fall class. They're starting to recruit for that right now. We had a report from Bonney Lake Police Department, our monthly reports for April. May 22nd, there is the beginning of the demo of the medical building next to Swiss Park. Not so much a public safety issue as much as it's just been where all the vandalism is, and it'll be nice to see that come down. Calls for service are down approximately 50% so far year to year over 2022. Last month, we had 18 graduates from the Citizens Academy. We had a one-day drug take-back program that turned in 85 pounds of prescription drugs in one day. So that's great to get that off of out of the medicine cabinet so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands or into our sewer system. We do have a new officer starting on 4/26, or we had a new officer start at the academy on 4/26. So far, so good with his progress there. There is an upcoming Coffee with a Cop on Thursday, June 8th at 10 to 2 at Lamppost and at 4 to 6 p.m. at Lamppost as well. We had an update from our prosecutors with 342 total hearings last month, 22 arraignments, 100 pretrials, and 82 discovery packets sent over. We had a report from the Emergency Management Department updating our emergency comp plan. Right now, we are about 16 years out of date since the last time it was updated. We do have an event coming up on July 27th, which is a mass care and sheltering functional exercise. It's kind of a part 2 adjacent of what happens post-Lahar or post any event that would have our local cities near us having to take refuge up here. Next week, the Lahar training back east happens. We have 3 people from the city going to join that. We did have an open discussion on school zone speeding study that was conducted back in February. There are some very concerning results on that, and we've asked the chief to move forward on getting some quotes on red light, or not red light, but speeding cameras in that area. We did have a discussion on the Blake decision should the state legislature not come together and correct that by July 1st when that law expires. Our attorney will be having something brought forward for us on the 16th for discussion and passage on the 23rd. So if the state does not, or state fails to act, we have with a 30-day window to ensure that our laws will now become the code for which our officers can apply the drug possession, possession of drugs, paraphernalia, and there was a third one.
Public use?
Public use, yeah. Thank you. Let's see here. Chief and Mr. Johnstone are working on with a parking company for the boat launch that may be able to possibly use our bollards and use our arm or put in an arm for parking for boat trailer parking. We approved this month's minutes and last month's minutes since they were not in the original packet, and we adjourned.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Evans. Yes, we met last week as well, the Pierce County with the executive, and Ms. Burke was there as well. So we will have a lot of backup when it comes to the Blake
Great.
decision. So that'll be very good. Okay, I don't see any other reports at the moment. We now have the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, let it be known that the consent agenda for May 9th was unanimously voted in. All right, so let's see. Go through there. So we do have some full council issues here. Item A, Madam Clerk.
This is AB 2379, Resolution 3154. The council motion would be to declare the city's support for strong families, expressing concern for health, safety, and welfare of children, encouraging support for our youth, recognizing parental rights, and encouraging all people, including nonprofits and government agencies who care for and about children, to partner with parents and families to ensure the well-being of the children of Bonney Lake.
Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay, do we have any discussion on the matter? I believe we've had people in the audience address this tonight, so any further discussion on it? Okay, Councilmember Watson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've had some concerns with the other form it came to us previously. Now we've changed this. I don't see any point the city is getting involved with concern of our strong families, health and safety, welfare, encouraging support of our youth, recognizing parental supports. We have plenty of groups in the city that do that. This is not part of the city's direction here. We have an excellent police department. We have a very good school district that takes care of all these, and other, committees for family and so on. So there's a lot of support group out there. This is not an area the city should be going into. I'm not going to vote for this. I disagree at this point. Bring this forward.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Watson. Any further discussion on the matter? Councilmember McClymons.
Yeah, I'd like to thank council for preparing this, right, and going forward, and I appreciate everybody's candor. I appreciate the council's ability to debate topics, especially difficult topics. I'd like to make sure that we understand that this really is the city's business. The state has now enabled the capacity for people to groom your children, and the state will protect those groomers and allow children to stay with them, and the law will prevent them from after the child's been reported as a runaway. They're protected now by state law. And regarding school district, the school district has a policy as directed by WASDA, the Washington School Directors Association, that says that there's information that will be withheld from parents as well. And then there's also, as you can see in the social media and in other branches of our government, that there is a concerted effort to separate children from parents. I recognize this. I hate to admit it. It is a difficult topic. This is not something I prefer a city to do. I would agree with you that typically you wouldn't want the city to do this, but now that the state has enabled groomers to kidnap children legally, I think it is important for the city to protect parents' ability to know everything possible to go on with their children. This is the smallest thing the city could do, which is revise an already existing law regarding explicit sexual material, take the loophole out of it, and make it possible for parents to know their child's been exposed. Since the council won't consider that motion, I think it's fabulous that we're willing to pass a resolution to kind of build a coalition with other local government agencies, such as the school district, such as the library, that parents' rights are important, and they have been recognized by the Supreme Court, and they are under attack. The 5599 is evidence of that, and WASDA policy 3211 is evidence that those parental rights are in jeopardy. So I will be supporting this.
Right. Thank you, Councilmember Clements. Any further discussion? Councilmember Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was going to be a yes on this, just simply because it's innocuous enough that there's no teeth to it. There's nothing really saying much about what the other agencies are expected to do. It was until just now where we started talking about school policy here that made me change my mind on that. And I know that's the background and the basis for this. And I'm not talking specifically about the resolution or the content of the resolution. It again gets into what I initially talked about, where I don't believe we should be asking other jurisdictions to do things that we wouldn't want them to ask us to do. And for that simple reason, like I said, there's nothing in here that is inherently opposed. It's just, I think, as a parent and as a city council member, it's not something I would expect any city or my city to actually stand up and do. So I appreciate this. I think this was the right way to go, but I will be a no on this just because I don't believe this is the direction at which I think the city should be handling things.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Evans. Councilmember Fullerton.
Yeah, so one of the number one reasons why we actually pay taxes in this country is to protect our citizens. So to say that this is not our business as city elected officials, this absolutely is our business. We have vulnerable children who are being set up for abuse and put into positions that they should never, ever have to be put into. They have nobody that they can talk to. And if the parents are taken out of the situation, then they don't have an adult that they can turn to and ask for help if they find themselves in trouble. This is absolutely what we are supposed to be doing. We pay taxes for protection. That's why we have police officers. We have peace officers. That is what we're here. We're here for infrastructure, for protection, and we're finding at every turn, our protections are being taken away from us. Our rights are being taken away from us. These are our God-given, constitutionally protected rights. And God created motherhood and parenthood and fatherhood. It goes on forever and ever and ever. The school district and any public buildings that these children would enter into, they're going to get them for maybe 12 years for their school. But I get my children for life, and I will be a grandmother. I will be a great-grandmother, and when I die, they will still know me as Grandma Gwendolyn or Mama Gwendolyn or whatever I am. My legacy lives on forever, and I want my children protected. I want to be protected. And so for me, this is an absolute yes. This is protecting our vulnerable children and our parents' rights to protect their children from any exposure. And to say that this is not our business, that I don't have any words. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Fullerton. Councilmember Baldwin.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say, just in case the public is aware or unaware, but a resolution is simply a stance, like Councilmember Evans had said, that there really is no teeth to this. This is merely a stance. It's not law. It's not enforceable. So that's the first thing I wanted to state. Secondly, I do feel like this resolution is just, it's a no-brainer for me. I know that as a teacher myself, I am very much, one of my main goals as a teacher is to connect students with their parents and to make sure that relationships that may be strained between student and parent, especially because I teach teenagers, that is one of the things that benefits them the most, is anytime I make a connection back with a parent and a student. And lots of the parents that I have taught over the years can attest to that. And so I don't understand, I guess, why not just informing parents is such a difficult thing to do. I think that is really and truly, as Councilmember McClymans was saying, this resolution is it is the bare minimum, as you had stated. It is simply suggesting a stance that as a community, we should absolutely want to inform parents, period. There's nothing else to this resolution other than stating that. And I think informing parents allows parents to be able to have conversations with their kids at home, because a lot of times students are shown things, talked to about things, and then the parents are unaware, and they're not able to have a conversation on the back end with a student, which really does not support positive mental health. In my years of teaching, I can certainly tell you that. That the more the parents are aware and can have conversations with their students, the better off they are. And so I will be in support of this resolution. Again, I am not for the punishment of teachers, because I am a teacher, obviously. I'm not for that, but I do think that there needs to be accountability, and this is a suggestion of that. And that is why I'm going to be supporting that.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, didn't mean to.
No, you're good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Baldwin.
Terry?
And Deputy Mayor Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the other council members have said so eloquently, I agree. The state, I think, has taken its own agenda on what it wants to do with kids and parents. I think as the lowest form of government, the most local form of government, it is our job to stand with parents and to stand up against some things when they are inappropriate. This is, as has been said, kind of the lowest or starting point, I would call it, as a way to say what we believe to be true. I think we all kind of believe this to be true. There may be reasons people don't want to vote for it, and I understand that, but I think it's an easy thing to support, and so I'll be supporting it.
All right, thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any further commentary? Oh, Councilmember Evans.
I want to say thanks to everyone. I know everyone has been speaking from their heart, and I really appreciate that. And this whole resolution is about family and support, and who's going to be against that. However, I also want to bring up that there's also students out there, and we have to be respectful of them as well, and what they want and their privacy. And I get there's some blurred lines out there, especially in today's world. But I just want to make sure that we recognize that there's another aspect beyond what this resolution is talking about, and that is the youth in question. We're talking about protecting the youth, but we also need to make sure that the youth have a voice in this as well. So no opinion on that, just making sure that that's out there, that we have to represent everyone, not just those that have brought the child into this world, but also the child itself.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Evans. Any further? Oh, Councilmember Watson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate the whole council talking about this in many ways, which would make it come forward to our meeting tonight. I'm still concerned with our school district takes care of this. They have connections for kids and families. They support them in many ways. And I'm concerned that we're not going to offend somebody by putting this forward. And we should respect everyone in our communities. We do have our police department and other sources that can help these families in need and need support out there. And for us as a city council it seems like a bit of a wedge between us and the school district. And I don't want that to happen, because our school district does so much for our community. They're always reaching out to all the things I'm involved with and bend over backwards for families in need. And like Mr. Evans has just said, there's other viewpoints and people, how they look at themselves, what they want to do. And some children have some challenges with their parents, need someplace to go. And without the school district, they don't have that. And with this coming in here, I don't want something that this coming forward and then in the future being something that's larger than it should be. I want us working with our local agencies, and so many of them, as you know, I've been to so many of those groups. In the school district, they wrap their arms around us to help things, make sure things go well. I realize the things that are brought forward from the state, asking of them to do, may not be your point of view, but it's not our position to bring this and make a little bit of a wedge in there, which is ever so mildly, but it is a little bit of a wedge, and we should support the school district and our other groups in our community. So as a city council, I don't think we need this, nor do I need that we need it. I don't want this, I'm not going to vote for this, because there are so many resources out there for them.
Yes, thank you, Councilmember Watson. All right, I believe we're ready to take it to a vote. I want to thank everybody for all of the hard work and effort and thought that they have put into every resolution, but it seems like this council does put their heart and soul into the council, and even though there are differing points of views, the fact that we do work on this is very commendable. Okay, so as far as the vote is concerned, all in favor of Resolution D-2379, say aye.
Aye.
Who do we have as ayes? 1, 2, 3, 4,
That guy on the TV too.
and 5. That's who I was looking for, Deputy Mayor Carter. All opposed?
Nay.
And we have 2 nays. So Resolution, or AB 2379, Resolution 3154 has been adopted by a 5-2 vote. Okay, let's move on to item B. Madam Clerk.
This is AB 2381, motion M2381. The council motion would be to appoint 3 city officials as voting delegates to represent the city of Bonney Lake at the 2023 Association of Washington Cities Annual Conference Business Meeting to be held in Spokane, Washington.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
We hope so.
All right.
Have discussion.
Deputy Mayor Carter, you are raising your hand. So.
Yeah, I guess our first question should probably be, well, who's going?
Right. Yes, it's nice if you actually go.
Yeah.
I am going.
Pretty committed to go in June.
Oh, is this our, yeah, okay, this is our annual thing in June, yes.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay. So quickly forgotten.
Okay, any further discussion on the matter? If we have everybody, or
Who's going?
who is
Dan,
going?
you and,
Four of us.
Yeah.
so the question should be who doesn't want to do it.
Okay, who doesn't want to do it?
I didn't do it last time, so I'll put my name in for one slot. So I guess I'll do it.
I guess I'll throw my name in the
Good
hat.
job.
Okay.
I mean, if Terry really wants it, I will give it to him, but if not, I will do it.
Okay.
I did it last time. Angela can have it.
Okay.
You still get the ice cream either way.
So we have
Yeah, ice cream,
Swatman,
too.
and we have Councilmember Baldwin,
Mhm.
Councilmember Fullerton. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If I do my math correctly, no, I'll rely on the professionals. Councilmember Kleiman, 1, 2, 3. Did we have 3?
You have 3.
Very
We verified for 3.
okay. I think our discussion is over with. All in favor of the Councilmember Swatman, Councilmember Baldwin, and Councilmember Fullerton being our delegates to go to this year's annual conference in Spokane, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. So by unanimity, we have adopted that particular motion. Okay. I am heavily edited here. Oh, okay. I see what we're doing. Okay. Now it's time for the council to go into an executive session for 10 minutes per RCW 4230-110 to discuss the potential litigation with legal counsel. We will reconvene afterwards, after the executive session. So after 10 minutes, we will be back.
Okay.
We're not taking any vote after?
Perhaps we may not. That's what I was informed by our city attorney.
Okay.
Mm.
I was like, wait, we're changing it up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Council is in executive session. They have asked for another 5 minutes. The City Council has asked for another 5-minute extension.
Oh, I left my purse.
What they're calling you for.
I left my purse in there.
Welcome back.
I thought I left it in
If
there.
we have a
Oh my gosh, I thought I left it in there.
majority here, you can adjourn it.
As soon as we get a quorum.
We need a quorum up here, guys.
We're quoruming.
Okay, we have one,
Dan?
3.
We need a quorum.
Dan?
We need a quorum.
Dan, come on.
Need a quorum.
Dan,
person,
right there,
guys.
close to your seat.
That's all we need is 4.
Okay, we have a quorum, so this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
That's official.
There.
There we go.